What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Investing Bros Saturday live show. After missing last week, it is very good to be back. And while there's not technically a whole heck of a lot of news to talk about, there's some, and we're going to be discussing some really big things that have happened recently. A lot of hacks on hot wallets have been occurring. We're going to be talking about that today in crypto. There are some other stories as well, such as a very interesting bill put before Congress to stop congressmen and family members from being able to trade stocks. Let me know what you think about that story. We'll cover that and a little bit more later on the show. It is also Saturday, so I'm going to give you some of my college football picks. That's not going to be till the end of the show, so if you are not a football person, that is okay. We're here to talk crypto, and also, and I'm not going to tell you who, there's a chance we have a special guest coming on later on in the show. You don't want to miss it, but make sure you smash that like button. And if this is your first time joining us here in Investing Bros, thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Go ahead and hit subscribe as well so you don't miss anything. We go live every single weekday from 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and now on Saturdays from 11 to 12 Eastern Standard Time. But if you don't hit subscribe and you don't get that notification bell hit, you might miss it. So go ahead and smash those as well. I am joined by my favorite co-host. That's rude to Piper. One of my favorite co-hosts, Mr. T. Shroom from down in Florida. T. Shroom, how you feeling this morning?
Well, Tim, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great, and I'm feeling better, much better than I deserve, Tim. So
good.
You may be surprised to see me here because you might be thinking, T. Shroom, you're supposed to have your drill weekend. You're all shaved. You have that stately look in your eye. Your patriotic demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you on the show? Well, I have some news for you all that I was going to deliver on Monday. I was under the impression. Well, let me just state it like this.
This is a strange drag out. Yeah, there we go.
I won't be doing a quote of the day. Just to save time. But ultimately, guys, I'm taking steps to exit the Army. There will be a lot more details to come out. But the reason I am here now is not because I'm out of the Army officially. There's still a lot of documents to sign and things like that. Mm-hmm. But the Army and I, the road is coming to an end. And there will be a lot more details to come.
Yeah, T-shirt. What percentage do you what percentage do you ascribe to me being at fault for why you and the military are splitting up?
Probably like 16%.
Yeah, that's a good. I was going to say 19, but
the forecast was 19.
Close.
Yeah, but it came in under. It's a miss. So it's okay.
It's a miss. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, it is a Saturday show, guys. That means we're going to have a lot of fun today. There's some things we do the same. There's some things we do different, but rest assured we will be talking about some crypto. Now, it's a Saturday show, and I'm seeing right here, we got 33 people in chat. Make sure by the end of the stream, I will lower this because usually we do 100. I'm going to say we'll go 80 likes. 80 likes, and we'll read some names at the end of the stream. But I do want to give a special shout out to Archie, who is in chat. Archie, we got to have you on again real soon. Someone asked, is Archie going to be the special guest? The truth is, if Archie wants to come on, I have nothing wrong with Archie coming on, but he was not who I was referring to. But Archie, let us know. If you do want to come on, I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. Let's go ahead and just talk. Let's break down some basics. We're not going to do economic update, but we will take a look at liquidations, fear and greed, and then maybe look at coin market cap and kind of start off there. And then we'll get into some stories, cover some TA. Again, today, make sure you guys are dropping some of your suggestions, what you want to see for TA, because we'll do a little extra for you guys. But let's go over to my screen here, T-Shroom. Take a look at the 24-hour liquidations. Bitcoin back up in that top spot with $19 million have been liquidated in the last 24 hours. 15 million of those were shorts and 4.1 million of those were longs. TRB's in second place. Ethereum dropping all the way to 4. TRB with 5.6 million shorts liquidated versus $3.3 million of longs. WLD had almost 6 million short dollars liquidated versus 2.89 million long. And Ethereum, not a whole lot. It's kind of sitting there kind of even, pretty much right under $5 million of shorts were liquidated versus 3.35 million long. So Overwhelmingly, probably a slightly more bullish day. I'm assuming when we get to coin market cap here in a second, we're going to see maybe a little more green than red, but we'll have to check in a second. The Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index ticks slightly down to 43. So still sitting in higher fear area, but not necessarily anything bad. And again, the price is a little bit, I think we're going to see Bitcoin's going to be a little bit lower than it was yesterday morning. Let's see what the other cryptos. I know there's a lot of altcoins that are a little bit higher than they were yesterday. Let's take a look at that coin market cap. Now, I was zoomed in here, so I got to go ahead and zoom out. Let's fix, what the heck? Come on now. There we go. Let's refresh this, get a fresh perspective. Oh, look at that. No, Bitcoin is up 20 in the last 24 hours, up almost 1%. When we started the show yesterday, was it at 26.4, T-Shroom?
I think so.
Oh, okay. For some reason, maybe it touched up to 26.6 and then drop back down. But yeah, so up about 1%. Ethereum up a little over 1%. BNB up 1%. XRP almost up 2%. This morning it was sitting at 50 cents. That was very, very interesting. What else do we have here? Cardano up 1%. So is Dogecoin. Solana a little bit less than that. Toncoin is up 12% in the last 24 hours, 23% in the last week. Of course, I saw someone ask for Toncoin. We might take a look at the Toncoin chart today, but that is a very interesting one. Going to be interesting to see, does any other coin beat it? Another interesting factoid, it was number 11 yesterday, so it just jumped Tron. Just so remove the R, and they switched places. It is now in the top 10 of the altcoins in the space, including stable coins. So big moves continue on for Toncoin. Let's take a look and see if there's any other big movers in the top 20. Not necessarily. Let's take a look at some of our biggest gainers in the last 24 hours. Toncoin, of course, is in the lead. Shout out to Toncoin. Thorchain as well is also up double digits, up 10.3%. Flow is up 8, almost 9%. Kava up 8%. Aave is up 8%. Immutable X is up 6.3%. Woo up 6%. Let's take a look before I move on to the biggest losers. Let's look at the biggest gainers of the week. Toncoin's in the number one spot. Thorchain up almost 20%. VeChain, that's another one. Someone asked us to do some VeChain TA. Maybe we'll take a look at VeChain. Up 13% this week. Maker up 12%. Bitcoin Cash up 10%. Render up 8%. So very interesting. Let's take a look at our biggest losers, though, and see what's happening. Not a lot of big losers. The biggest one, IOTA, only down 2.3%. XDC down 2%. Monero down just under 2%. So not a lot of big losers. But let's see in the week as a whole, what's our biggest losers? Oh, poor DZ.
ApeCoin.
ApeCoin down 16%. I'm
so glad I sold that ApeCoin.
Listen, I remember when ApeCoin came out. I actually vividly remember where Smay and I and Taylor, my wife, I think we had gone to a zoo or something. It was it was a day. I don't know why. We went to a zoo, so we were all hanging out. We went somewhere, and we got the update about ApeCoin and what was happening there, and we had a long discussion about it. It was an interesting thing when it came out. And I knew it would have a short pump, but I don't know. Let me know in chat. What is your guys' long-term thoughts on ApeCoin? I vividly still remember being in the parking lot of the Tampa Zoo when we got the update that there's this new coin called ApeCoin. And my initial response was, this is going to be a flash in the pan. I don't think this is going to make it long-term. And yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about ApeCoin? Astar is down almost just as much, down 15.5%. IOTA down 11%. Flare down 10%. Clay down 10%. XLM down almost 10%. So we do have some big losers from this week. But let's go ahead and transition here. I'm interested to read some chat and what you guys are thinking about some of those things I talked about. But we do have some stories, probably no story bigger than some stuff just happening around the space. T-Shroom, what is our main topic today?
Well, Tim, our main topic is going to be these hacks.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Mark Cuban and then Jason Casper were unfortunately the victims of what looked like some sort of hack. And we'll get into a little bit of the details there and kind of maybe start a little conversation with the chat about security and crypto, guys. It's really important. It's really, really important.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and jump into those stories, and we'll get going.
Absolutely. Well, the first one here is from Jason Casper. A tweet said $700,000 worth of crypto was stolen from me last night. Please watch my latest YouTube video. To the person that hacked me and stole my money, I pray.
God blesses you. That's been seen 165,000 times. So hopefully, some portion of this group went ahead and put some coins on their cold wallet, right? And cold wallet, that maybe if that's the first time you've heard that term, then I just did you a giant favor, guys. Figure out what a cold wallet is. We'll talk about it today. We'll get into some details.
Mm-hmm.
But if you learn nothing else from this episode, cold wallet, Google it, buy one. That's reputable. We can make some recommendations. Ledger's a pretty reliable one, although it's had its controversies.
It's had its moments, yeah. It's had
its controversy. And then our good buddy, friend of the show, Kelly Kellum, jumped in and said, "I'm sorry to hear this. I'm so thankful for how you are dealing with this and offering blessings in the face of this malicious act. You are a gem in the space. Thank you." And of course, you can't agree with that enough. That is a display of graciousness, of forgiveness at a very high degree. Tom Crown jumping in with a "no, bro," which is also apt and very appropriate. Digital Asset News said, "Sorry, man. We've all been there in one way or another." And then, of course, a bunch of other people jumped in with their input as well. And looks like Exodus Wallet getting in on the fun. Not sure if that's the official account.
Well, yeah, they probably just saw that something was tied to them because what he was using was an Exodus hot wallet, and we'll talk more about that. There is another thing. If you share my screen, he put out another tweet here more recently that there's actually some tracking ability going on here. And he said, "Whoever stole my Bitcoin is depositing it into Whitebit exchange at 0.4 Bitcoin chunks. Whitebit, can you help?" And here's a graph. He was able to trace it down, and that's another thing about this. Like, I'm not. Your chances of being able to recover lost crypto is still very slim to none. But it's all being done on blockchain. So a lot of times things are trackable. And if you can start identifying wallets and start identifying where things are happening, it's one of those things that, remember, those of you who have been in crypto for a long time, maybe some of you haven't. If you haven't been, welcome. We're going to try to help you guys a little bit about it today. But people who do crime in crypto are sometimes really, really stupid because, again, it all gets traced and tracked via the blockchain. So it's one of those things that there's a little bit of hope still, I think. And we've had some good news recently. There have been people hacked that money has been returned in several different ways. But yeah, this is a really sad story. Now, I'm not that sad for Jason. First of all, Jason is a brilliant trader, a brilliant crypto analyst. He's going to make it back. I don't know his personal wealth. I don't know what percentage of his crypto holdings this is. But I don't care really who you are, unless you're the next person we're about to talk about. $700,000 is a lot of money. That's a gut punch. Now, Jason's going to be okay. But that still sucks. And what I was going to say, T. Shroom, there's a lot of people. I was talking to T. Shroom about this morning. There's a lot of people that are seeing stories like this, and they're like, "Oh man, that sucks, but you're going to be okay." Well, there's a lot of people who are being hacked right now that are not celebrities, that aren't well known in the social media space, who are losing just about everything because they're not splitting up their money. I mean, we just got a super chat from Ela Brown saying diversify in investments and wallets. Yeah, there's people that don't do that. There's people that that literally work 9 to 5 jobs, that they work paycheck to paycheck, and they're storing every little acorn they can away for the bull market. And there are people right now that are losing everything in these hacks. And it's going to wreck them because they have no backup plan. Jason, I'm not that worried about. We're about to talk about
Mark Cuban.
Oh gosh, Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban lost pennies, in his wealth, but it's no one likes to lose 800,000. Let's talk about that story, and then we'll kind of break it down even more here, D-Shroom.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there was a question before we just get into that. There was a question: is Robinhood better than these wallets? And it depends. What I will say about Robinhood is it does not yet give you the ability to patch in to a swap, like a min swap or like a pancake swap or some kind of website or some sort of protocol that can actually patch in to your MetaMask wallet or your Exodus wallet. That's not something that Robinhood offers. So it's not that it's more secure, but that does seem to be the point of vulnerability, the point of failure for these hot wallets that sit on your browser, right, as extensions. Now, if you're using a site like like Pancake Swap, right? That's trusted. You know, I don't know that you can get scammed through that, but if you're using a new swap service, that is where the vulnerabilities come in. When you're attaching your wallet and you're signing and saying this new site can now have access to my wallet, that's where you're making yourself vulnerable. And the lesson here is that you don't want to do that, right? You want to make sure that this new swapping service is super reputable. And if you don't know, get a new MetaMask, send money to that send funds, whatever it is, Ethereum or BNB, to that MetaMask, and only have the amount that you were going to swap, so that if in the event that it is a scam, right, and it's just going to take all your crypto, it's only going to take what you were going to swap, if that makes sense. Now that's going to take longer. It's going to be more painful to have to do that. There's a lot more steps, a lot more clicks, a lot less time to be watching the game with your friends or playing a video game or feeding the dog, whatever it is, right? But that's the steps you have to take. That's the pain and the sacrifice you have to make for generational wealth, right? Like, crypto is easy in some sense, just to buy Bitcoin on Robinhood and just ride it out, right? Or to buy it on Coinbase and just ride it out. That is a way to do it, right? And there is a lot of security in those names, right? But then there is a next step of putting it on a cold wallet that a lot of folks have found is a lot more secure. So Robinhood versus these decentralized app wallets, there's pros and cons, right? But the main point of vulnerability with both of these stories is it looks like, and the story from your friend at Hit Network, AJ, I believe is his name. They signed access to a new swap service or some crypto service that you have to enable. You have to click connect on your MetaMask or your Exodus wallet. So that's the vulnerability. Let's get into Mark Cuban's situation here, which is from Digital Asset News. Actually said Mark Cuban had his entire MetaMask wallet drained today, $870,000 worth. That's a lot to us, but that's a valiant tipping money for Cuban.
Valet.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's valet tipping money for Cuban. I read that the first time just in pre-production, and I was like, oh, that's a great way of saying that, valiant tipping money. But in reality, I was reading it incorrectly. Regardless, don't leave anything large in a hot wallet. You will get it stolen at some point. Yes, I don't actually agree with that, but it is better to not leave it in a hot wallet. Okay.
I don't think that there's anything as 100% in this, but it's one of those things that we kind of, now we're going through the stories. Now we'll go more. T-Shroom, you just broke some stuff down very, very well right there. I'm going to kind of continue on because this is the main topic of this video. Again, on the weekend, we started, T-Shroom and I, we had talked months ago about doing more videos on security. And then just with a lot of things going on, we kind of put on the back burner. This is the reason we're probably going to start moving that stuff back up. We're probably going to create some content in the future on good strategies and good exchanges. This is one that a lot of people are going to toss the baby out with the bathwater and say, never use a hot wallet ever again. Never use MetaMask ever again. Don't do this, do this. Here's the thing. Always and nevers are usually pretty wrong words to use. However, I do believe that people should stop leaving large amounts on hot wallets. Stop leaving large amounts on sexes. I would even say stop leaving large amounts on dexes. This is a reminder to every single one of you guys out there to be getting a cold wallet. Do you want to get Ledger? Yeah, Ledger has some issues where there's some concern with backdoor features that potentially they could come in and get some money. I know that was a really hot topic for a while and has seemed to go away. Now, I'm not up to date on all that. And if Ledger fixed that or if they went away from it, T-Shroom?
Let me put a little bit of light on that. So it wasn't backdoor features. I would say that language is a little bit confusing.
What I'm saying is that's what the accusation was. People were saying that the new updates to Ledger wallets were going to allow a backdoor happening where Ledger could potentially, like, for example, this was the accusation. I'll say this and then T-Shroom, you respond to it. The fear was that there were backdoor entries into your Ledger wallet that hypothetically, the US government, if they were going after you and wanted to seize your crypto and could locate your wallet, which again is pretty easy for them to do, they could communicate with Ledger to use those backdoor features to go in and freeze your account. That was the concern, the fear. So whether that was true or not, that's what the headlines were.
Okay.
What's the details on that?
Well, to be honest with you, that you're talking about something else. So I was thinking of what was more recently a controversy where Ledger released a new service for like folks who are newer to crypto, and they thought it was a great idea. But there was someone else in the crypto community, I can't remember who it was, but I want to say it was like some project developer who kind of pointed out in a tweet, this is a terrible idea because if these parties ever found each other, it was basically like this. You set up a wallet and you can opt to send, I think, fragments of your keys or seed phrases to three different parties. Terrible. And it would go sit with, like, let's say, some person in Norway, somebody in Florida, and then maybe even a company out of South Africa, right? And so these people don't know who each other are, but if they ever did figure out who they are, then they could get all your money, right? And so that kind of presses the green light on a whole new way to try to scam people. And there's a lot of reason why you would never want to do something like that. But you can also see from Ledger's standpoint, okay, this is an interesting service that could theoretically help people feel more comfortable as they're new coming into crypto.
I wouldn't use that. I wouldn't use that with a 10-foot pole.
But the consensus,
especially not let it tell a new person to use that.
Right, but the consensus in the crypto community, especially on YouTube, was no. And Ledger got totally roasted. And I think in the final analysis, they regretted ever bringing that service live. Now, okay. So we went down a little bit of a rabbit hole there. But what you were talking about is a government backdoor. That's honestly not something I even remember being a thing. But
we talked about that. We talked about it on this show.
I mean, if a company is registered in the United States, I think there's always an argument for the government being able to leverage that business and try to get information. But I will say that I don't think that the U.S. can always do that. Maybe unless there's like some kind of national security threat. But I know that Apple has been famous because the CIA and FBI have tried to convince Apple to hand over data from their users' devices, and Apple has declined in several cases publicly. So I don't think that just because you are a business registered in the United States, that does not mean that the U.S. government can force you to hand over data of anybody. So, yeah, I mean, they can shut you down.
Yeah, no. So
like you can just
it's not an issue of force. It's an issue of have the ability to. And Eric Wallen is saying they didn't bring that service to live. What I'm referring to, T-Sherman, I guess, and if you're forgetting about it, I'll just kind of bring it up. The whole purpose that they kind of put it out there was especially for people who lost their keys. So the concept is, hey, if you lose your keys, this new update would allow us to be able to go in and access and reopen your funds and get it back for you, which is the positive side of it. The negative side of it is, again, it's all about, we talked about this on the show before. It's all about if you can trust a good person and the person is worth trusting, then that's great. The problem is the precedents they had set. Like even like when you talk about kingdoms and you talk about a monarchy, there have been kings in the past in certain countries that did want what was best for his people, that ruled fairly, that did everything great. And in that system, the monarchy was a beautiful thing that was a blessing for the country. But the concept of a monarchy allows for a wicked king to come in and have a tyranny, a control that destroys the people, steals from them. And so the concept is, while technically speaking, a monarchy in and of itself is not an evil thing, it opens up a precedence for evilness that is a dangerous thing. In the same way, in and of itself, the service that Ledger was proposing with this backdoor access had if you could trust Ledger that they would only use this for good to help you recover your funds in case you lose your keys, then this is a beautiful thing. But the problem is the precedence. And you're right. I don't know if the government could force them to give information, but we saw this happen, with the protests that happened in Canada, with the stuff that happened with sanctions in Russia. where the governments urged these centralized exchanges to work with them to keep people from circumventing these sanctions and allowing people to use cryptocurrency to pay them. And these centralized exchanges said, yes, we will work with you, government. So in the same breath, you could only trust this in as so far as you could trust whoever the leadership team was at Ledger, which, by the way, will change from time to time. People will step away, people will be hired, and there would always be the precedence and opportunity that if the government pressed on Ledger and said, hey, this person is against us, this person is illegal, this person is broken the law, we need to freeze their accounts, it would be up to Ledger, not to you, if the government could get access to your wallet and freeze it. So that was a tangent. We went kind of far down that road. Ledger, I'm not necessarily too worried about Ledger, but it's something to keep your eyes on. Some other ones that I'm a fan of, Arculus is a good one. There's others as well. And in the future, we definitely will cover more cold wallets that we would recommend. But the point here of all this story is get the large portion. When we're talking about the percentages of your holdings, first of all, I don't think you should have 100% of your crypto or money in any one place. Diversification is a very real thing that you need to be doing right now. Do not have 90% of your money even in a cold wallet, but I would say that you should have your larger percentages in cold wallets. I'm not saying throw hot wallets and centralized exchanges out with the bathwater. You still need them. You need on-off ramps. You need swapping sites. You need to have a little bit of money ready so that if a new degen coin comes out that you want to invest a little bit of your money in, the money's there and ready to go so you can act on it. But my fear is, again, we've seen now AJ was hacked for thousands of dollars from his MetaMask. We had Mark Cuban hacked for hundreds of thousands of dollars of his MetaMask. We've had Exodus Wallet hacked for Jason Casper, and he's lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hot wallets are not secure things, and people need to stop trusting them to the level they're trusting them. Move your money to cold wallets. Only leave money in hot wallets that it's not an issue of like, would you be okay? Because no one wants to lose money. I don't even want to have $10 stolen from me, but I'd be okay with that. I don't want to have $1,000 stolen from me, but at the end of the day, it wouldn't ruin me. Do not have more money in these centralized exchanges and these hot wallets. Then you would be able to continue to move forward and not be ruined if that money were to get hacked. Because guess what, guys? Right now, crypto is still in the Wild West. As T-Shroom said earlier, people want everything to be convenient and easy. Well, guess what, guys? Crypto was created so that you could be your own bank and have complete control over your finances. If it was easy, it wouldn't be secure. The fact that it's difficult, the fact that you have to think about it, the fact that you have all these steps set up that are a little bit annoying and time-consuming is what brings you the security to be able to be your own bank. People want to be able to access and use their money at the click of a button, and that is the most risky thing in the world, especially in this day and age when we're seeing the developments with AI and other tools. You want as many steps and as much stuff between you and hackers as possible. So it's time to embrace that if you're going to be your own bank and you're going to have responsibility of your own money, that comes with being annoyed, with having a lot of restrictions, with having heavy levels of security, and that's part of the process. If that's not you and you don't want it to be that complicated, you can keep using centralized exchanges. You can keep using hot wallets. You can continue to suck from the teat of the elite and of the governments and of the superpowers and bow the knee to them and do whatever they ask you to do. But I would imagine the majority of you got into crypto so that you don't have to do that anymore. And it comes with, hey, it's time to step up, put on your big boy pants, deal with the frustrations that crypto security comes with, but take it seriously. Because in my opinion, and I think you guys would agree with me, this money, this value is worth protecting and is worth the annoying 5 minutes to access it every time you want to get in and out of your wallet. That's my personal opinion. If you disagree with that, let us know in chat. But please, 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 if you value your money and you value decentralization, stop leaving large chunks over on hot wallets and centralized exchanges. I'll kind of wrap it up here and we'll move into some TA and stuff. But I was telling T-Shroom this morning, I've heard people say before that until you get hacked or until you get stopped out and you forgot to put your stop loss on a trade and you lose your entire trade, you haven't really played in crypto. You haven't learned anything. And I completely disagree with that statement. No, I think there's valuable lessons to those who have been hacked and those who have been stopped out, who forgot stop losses. But I firmly believe in there's two ways to learn from mistakes. You can learn from your mistakes or you can learn from others' mistakes. Am I the wealthiest person in crypto? Absolutely not. I have a long way to go to build my personal wealth, but I have never once been hacked. I have never once been stopped out and lost my entire trading portfolio because I forgot to set a stop loss, because I've learned from people and I've watched the mistakes that others have made. And I've decided, you know what? I don't need to make that decision for myself or that mistake for myself. I'll learn from others. And so anyone out there who has not been hacked yet or has not been, stopped out yet in a trade, keep it that way by continuing to learn the lessons of, like what we just saw with Jason Casper, with Mark Cuban, with AJ. And again, these are three individuals that are very intelligent. I'm not worried about them whatsoever because they are going to bounce back bigger and stronger and better. But why do you need to be hacked too to learn the same lesson that they're learning about the money they're leaving on these hot wallets? You
Great
don't.
tip.
You need to just go ahead and say, all right, thank the Lord that has not happened to me. And I'm going to go ahead right now and go move my money off hot exchanges, hot wallets, because I don't want to be the fourth person, the fifth person, the 10,000th person that this is happening to. And in case you guys are wondering, we're just hearing out the big names here. There are thousands of people who are losing their money to these hot wallets. And it's time to make a change.
Yeah, absolutely, guys.
Sweet.
Absolutely. I think it's really important. And it looks like in the chat, people are not rolling their eyes at this in our community right now. People are saying this is important because it is. It's not like the sexiest part of crypto. It's not like the part like, oh, you're going to be a millionaire. No, that's the fun part that there is some truth to, right, in the future if you play your cards right. But this is the part where it's like you will not be a millionaire if you do not heed these warnings, because you are in the early stages here. This is the early gold rush, where loads and loads of prospectors that went from the East Coast to San Francisco, right, to go in Colorado to mine gold, they got taken advantage of. Their families were killed on the way to go mine gold, right? And that's all because they didn't prioritize security first. And then, to this day, there are gold mining companies that started in those times, and the first thing they did was practice security. So we're in the Wild West, guys. When you're in the Wild West, you have to think like a predator. You have to think like a wolf. You can't think like an antelope. If you want to think like an antelope, you're in the greatest country in the world to do that if you live in the United States, because you can just do that, right? You can, have your Bank of America account, and probably for the next decade, you'll be fine, right? Now, there's a lot of caveats to that we talk about a lot, but anyway, that's my little rant to kind of cap this off. But
I was gonna read two chats, and then we're gonna get our trivia question of the day, and we're gonna move forward. Thumbnail Investor, great statement. He said this is definitely a topic we need to talk more about, especially as we have lots of new people going to be coming in during the bull run. And by the way, Thumbnail Investor, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I was like, look at the hacks that are happening right now, still in the bear market. Can you guys imagine what this is going to look like here in about a year when millions of new people are coming in and have no idea what they're doing? You're 100% right, Thumbnail Investor. We are going to be talking about this a lot more. Like I said, T-Shirt and I had talked about putting out more content on this, but due to SEO and other things we thought were more important and other things we had going on in life, we're like, all right, we'll put that on the back burner. We'll do it later. And it's like, well, I think later has come and it's time to start doing some stuff. I always love how this one's pronounced. Flzek, great to see you here. He said, never been hacked, never will be. That's the thought, man. It's one of those things. I'm not going to be prideful about it and be like, count my chickens where they hatch, because you never know what could happen. But I'm very conscious and aware every single day of what's happening, where my stuff is, and not clicking on links. Like I probably, I'm one of the person, like if I actually ever did win some sort of like special award, I would never claim it because I'm too scared of anything that comes in on my email that I don't know who the person who sent me that email is. So continue to be, think from a perspective of security. Don't try to, anything that comes too easy overnight probably is too good to be true.
And the other thing too is you're in a community, right? And just ask a friend, right? If you're unsure of like, hey, this swap, I want to get this new DGen coin because I really believe in the project, but I have to get it on this swap, right? And I've never used it before. Just ask somebody. Don't click that. Don't sign it, before you've at least asked a battle buddy, right? And they say in the army, before you've
Yeah.
asked somebody in the Discord here, in the Investing Bros Discord, or some Discord or Twitter account that you trust, somebody who you actually know. I mean, Tim and I are great examples because you actually can see us every day. We're live 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Investing Bros YouTube, right? Or you can go to our free Discord, which I have the link to right here in the description. Join us, and anytime you have any kind of conversation in there, you're at least in a deeper level of trusted folks than just clicking without any kind of knowledge, or having to go to some Googling, is this safe? And then you have no idea who's posting those articles. It could be the scammer behind the swap. So anyway, all right, let's get to the trivia and we'll get to the charts. Sound good, Tim?
Let's do it. Let's do the trivia. Yeah, we can get in here in a second. It's lit. I didn't know we were going to talk that long about it, but it's good we talked that long about it. I feel like it's a topic worth the discussion, but let's do it.
Awesome. All right. What year?
Oh my gosh.
Did the Roman Empire achieve its peak land dominance? Was it A, AD 117, B, AD 230, C, AD 108, or is it D, AD 2023?
So this could be a trick question because I've heard of conspiracy theories that every single president and every single global leader, actually, if you trace it back, I can't remember what it was. This is a conspiracy theory, but they say every single global leader is related to each other within the last couple hundred years. So is the Roman Empire still around and they just split up? And now they are actually having their highest dominance in the year 2023. Can you go back to the dates though? Because I'm not going to go get that answer. I just wanted to throw it out there. There's a conspiracy theory about it. AD 117, 230, 108.
Yeah, the factoid elf is really, I think, may have gotten into a bad batch of shrooms for this factoid. We're gonna find out later what exactly is going on here.
I want to say it's 108 or 117.
Okay.
And it's because I think that when it got to its peak was when Constantine had made Christianity kind of the full-fledged, because he had that vision, that dream. That's why we have the current day cross, which, by the way, that's a side tangent, but that cross, the cross that we all are used to, is more than likely historically not the kind of cross Jesus was crucified on. But I don't think that it took I think 200 years is a little too far out. It's 108 or 117. I'm going to go with 117.
Okay.
But I could understand if it was 108, but I'm pretty sure the peak of it was during, well, when were the Crusades? I think the Crusades would have been right there in that region. You would have gotten there.
I think that you have made your guess, and
I think 117. We'll go 117. I think it's A.
Excellent.
So, all right, let's do this. Let's do some TA. Good trivia question. I don't know that much about the Roman Empire. T-shirt. I think. Why did I just move this? Gosh, what am I doing? I just moved one of my lines. I think Shannon would do really well at those. We're looking at Bitcoin this morning, guys, and kind of like what we talked about earlier this week after we started rallying back up. We talked about kind of coming back up, hitting our head on this zone between 26,800 and 27,000. Sure enough, that's exactly what we're doing. The volume is not necessarily crazy, so we're looking right now to see, do the bulls make a push with high volume to break through? And then what we're looking for potentially, again, if you're looking for a trade, a long opportunity, what you want to see is you want to see the breakthrough with high volume and then a retest, and that's your entry point, and then a move to the upside. That would be the long you're looking for. So keep your eyes on that. Kyle Owen says, wrong, Tim. All right, there you go. That's not the first time. I'm sure he's talking about the Romans. Kyle, when is it? Just let me know. Kyle, I'm going to change my answer to whatever Kyle says, because he says I'm wrong. So I'm going to go with Kyle. Kyle, pick for me. All right. Moving on here, let's take a look at some oscillators here to kind of even back up what I'm talking about right now. You guys can see we're not on the 4-hour chart overextended whatsoever, even going out to the daily chart. Let's take a look at what it is saying this morning, because we did not check that yesterday. We're starting to move to the upside, but you guys can even see after all of these bullish divergences, this peak seeker that came in right after this bottom, I'm seeing the 4-hour and the daily kind of move together. To say that this move to the upside more than likely is going to happen. This does not change my prediction that I still think sub 20,000 is coming, but this is kind of a fall rally it's going to be the catalyst for a lot of the institutions to dump their Bitcoin, to sell it to some sucker retail investors convinced that the bull market's back on now and have forgotten completely about the 4-year cycle. And then the price is going to have a nice crash, and they're going to be able to accumulate a lot more Bitcoin down low. On the hourly chart's not even screaming at us overextended, because even though we did get a red reversal here, come on and load for me now, oscillators. We got a red reversal here at this peak. We're back down toward this midline. I think what we're regrouping, you guys can see very clearly, we really didn't even get that high, didn't even get all the way up here towards 70. This is a pretty classic regrouping strategy on the oscillators that they're going to be moving back to the upside, I do believe, very, very soon. So I'm sitting here definitely leaning bullish this morning on Bitcoin. There's not a whole else out there to take a look at. You can take a look at fixed range volume profile. It's kind of hovering right at that value area high. So definitely want to get back above it. Technically speaking, if I'm zooming in here, we did on a short little sprint this morning get rejected right at that, but that's on the hourly chart. Again, such small time frames. To me, it's not significant. Let's see a bump up above that level. And then again, we're looking for high volume coming above 27,000, and then we're looking for a good push all the way back up here to about 28.6 is my best guess. Now, what I would say, again, very common stuff. Whenever you pinpoint areas you like, let's say anyone right now is listening right now and saying, all right, I want to look for a long opportunity here on Bitcoin. My entry point, I'm going to stick with it. If I miss it, I just miss it. Look for a breakthrough at 27,000, a regrouping back to it. That's your entry point. And then you move to the upside. And while I think that 28.6 could happen, I think there's even a chance we get a little sprint up to 29 before a fall. I'm probably not putting my take profit all the way at 28.6. More than likely, I'm going to put my take profit somewhere right at or right above the peak that we had back here on the August 29th, around 28,200. Even if I think it's going to get higher, this is something I have learned way too frequently. And when I say, like, I'm not perfect, I've never lost money, like in being hacked or getting stopped out with a stop loss that I didn't set. I have missed out on trading opportunities or profit-taking opportunities because I pinpointed these perfect zones, and then I come within dollars of my zones, either an entry or an exit, and I end up not being able to take as much profit. So I have learned the hard way, you do not buy or sell your perfect spots. You buy and sell good spots within a range, and you take what you can get. So that's what I'm seeing here on Bitcoin. Let me go back off of this. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance real quickly before we take a look at some other altcoins. Now, yesterday on the show, anyone who was watching, there was we kind of assumed that it was TradingView had added some more coins. Maybe that's not what happened. I don't know. It was a glitch. We dropped all the way down here towards 49.22%. Well, that's completely gone. TradingView went back in, reversed it, got rid of it. But it did the other thing that we talked about it doing, and that is if you're out here on those larger time frames, this former level of resistance, this is a very classic move, a very bullish move for Bitcoin dominance that makes me believe that Bitcoin is going to be outpacing altcoins to the upside right now. And that is after breaking through the resistance, it came back down to turn a former resistance level into support. Watch now, I think the Bitcoin dominance is going to start making a good push to the upside. And so I'm definitely keeping my eyes on that. So when we're looking at these altcoins, keep that in the back of your mind that right now it very much is looking like Bitcoin should be outpacing the majority of altcoins. I'm not going to say every single one of them, but especially when we're looking at top altcoins, like the top 10 or so, more than likely we're going to see it outpacing it. We're seeing here on this is Ethereum over Ethereum over Bitcoin, not Ethereum over US dollar. We're in a falling wedge pattern, but there's absolutely room to the downside. Do not be surprised to see Ethereum over Bitcoin come back down here to retest this blue line. Looking at Cardano, all this, I don't know what these lines are doing. What was I drawing here? I think it's, I see what it was. We did break through. We broke on this, a very slight breakthrough of resistance. In reality, this is kind of a zone that I don't even know if it really has cleanly broken through it. This is Cardano over Bitcoin. Don't be surprised to see Cardano over Bitcoin potentially drop back down towards this blue level as well. Those are not the Cardano and Ethereum over dollars. I still believe both Cardano and Ethereum can climb in price, but I would not be surprised to see them drop compared to Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ethereum real quick. Ethereum coming back down, testing this support level of this ascending triangle. I'm continuing to watch These levels, again, could Ethereum get a good push up here, maybe towards 18, 13? That's a little bit rich. And again, for the reason I'm talking about just now, when we're looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, when we're looking at Ethereum over Bitcoin, I think it's going to be hard for Ethereum to make a rally that high, but it is something I definitely have on my chart that I'm keeping an eye on. Looking at my oscillators, I still believe we're going to the upside. That's the daily chart right there. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. You can see the 4-hour chart. It did not dip as low as our Bitcoin chart did. We even had some bearish divergence jump in here on our chart prime oscillators. This to me kind of says, I still think Ethereum moves to the upside, but I think it's a little more overextended than Bitcoin. And that kind of backs up even more of what we were talking about with Bitcoin dominance. Let's take a look at some other indicators here with chart prime. Again, we have not bullishly broken through our dynamic reactor. We're not close necessarily to that wave. I also would imagine that wave is going to be some pretty strong resistance. So instead of looking at prices up here towards 18, like 18, 17, 18, this level I'm talking about up here, I think we're realistically looking more like levels like back to where we were here in August, maybe best case scenario somewhere in the mid 1700s, around 1750, give or take. The difference here, of course, going back to Bitcoin, I didn't show you guys this, but we talked about it yesterday. Look at our waves on Bitcoin. We have not touched them, and they are moving quickly to the upside. This is a very different looking chart than what we see on Ethereum. So for those reasons, again, I think that we're going to see Bitcoin kind of outpace it. Let's take a look at Cardano this morning. And let's take a look at what their indicators are saying. You guys will see, I talked about this blue level of resistance, Cardano coming back to it. It does look like we are kind of wrestling with that once again. Can Cardano break through? I think there's a decent chance it does. Let's take a look at the oscillators here. You can see we did get a red reversal on the 4-hour chart when we touched that blue line. So that's something definitely keep your eyes on. We are projecting off that trend assistant. We're below the 4-hour dynamic reactor. So we do have some resistance to break through here on Cardano. But let's move out to the daily chart. Let's see what it is saying. We recently on the daily chart came down and touched bullishly here on our wave down here. So yeah, a lot of bullish divergence on Cardano. I think there's a good chance, again, it follows Bitcoin, makes a move to the upside, maybe comes back up here to the 30-cent zone. That is a very, very key zone, runs into that daily dynamic reactor, and then falls back down here. I'm still predicting about 18 cents or maybe even a little lower here on Cardano. Got a question from Adir Rodriguez, says, what indicator is that? Those waves? Good question, Adir, because I didn't say it. Our charts are always brought to you guys by Chart Prime. Chart Prime, Adir, is, in my personal opinion, the best indicator out there, especially for trading, but even for long-term swing trading and investing strategies. It is one of the best ones because it does predictive analysis rather than confirmation analysis. These indicators alone, to me, I like to call them Christmas tree ornaments, have been super lethal when used in confluence with traditional TA and other indicators that Chart Prime offers. You can check it out. Go to, on the video, you guys are watching this right here, click on the description and come down here, Chart Prime. You can click on our link and get 45% off your first month or first quarter. There's no deal out there better than that. So if you guys are looking for an indicator that works, that will help you make some profitability in trading. The other thing that we never talk about when it comes to Chart Prime, guys, when you sign up for it, this is another reason why Chart Prime's company is so good. They have so many different free levels of education. I haven't seen like any other indicator do what they do. You can sign up for one-on-ones for free. You can sign up for group classes. They go out of their way above and beyond to make sure that you don't just get a purchased indicator, but if it's up to them, you will know exactly how to use it every step of the way. So good question, Adir. Go check them out with that link down below. It supports the channel, but it also supports you because it is that phenomenal. Let's take a look at some other ones you guys asked us to look at. Someone said, let's take a look at Toncoin. Toncoin, let's pull this all down. I just want to kind of look at the price action right now. It's not back up to all-time highs. This is a coin that a lot of the charts I'm looking at that goes back, I don't know the exact date it was started, but a lot of the charts here on TradingView only go back to about October. This was the oldest one I could find. This is technically Toncoin over Tether, not Toncoin over USD. So keep that in consideration when we're looking at these charts. But other than this opening one right here, I'm not really going to count that. The all-time high that I'm really seeing is back here in December of 2022 when Toncoin got to almost $3. The difference, though, is that Toncoin recently has pretty much tripled their supply. So despite the fact that the price per coin is not back to all-time highs, the market cap for Toncoin is exploding because the demand and the supply are just shooting to the upside, and that's why they are now a top 10 coin. It's one that's very, very interesting. But whenever you see, like what we saw earlier, we're talking about this, whenever you see a coin is the biggest gainer in the last 24 hours and the biggest gainer within the last 7 days, you have to kind of come into charts with a thought of, hey, is this something that I'm looking potentially at entering a short, or is there momentum continuing to the upside? Let's take a look at what the oscillators are saying starting out on the daily chart. Now you'll see this is a very bullish sign. I'm going to actually say, I'm not going to suggest people necessarily enter a fresh new long. Maybe like one that you're being very careful with, that you're going to be watching closely to take profit. But whenever you see this, I love this. This is confirmation to me that we are in a very strong bullish trend. I call these Christmas tree ornaments, and I hope someday they do. No one else does it, but I'm trying to make it a thing. I've gotten Piper to say it a couple times, Army Piper. So that to me is a confirmation this is working. But I like to call these Christmas tree ornaments, and these are on the top. This is overbought. On the bottom, it's oversold. So if you're wondering what OB and OS stand for, that's what it stands for. But one of the strongest things that can happen is if these signals are ignored, it communicates the strength of the trend. So if it's on the top, we're talking about overbought, the bottom oversold. While technically there's been some retracements here and there where we have these flashes, so they're actually pretty good flashes, the fact that we keep moving to the upside, to me, is the case that we're seeing the bulls are in control because they're ignoring these overbought flashes and just continuing to set higher highs and higher lows. That's a very bullish trend. We're kind of just doing some alpha here today. We're probably going to run even long with the show, but I feel like this great conversation we're having. To kind of see a good representation of this, let's go back to Bitcoin. A lot of people are familiar with the Bitcoin chart. And you're going to see clearly after we hit all-time high, we entered into a bear market. Well, notice while there are technically some Christmas tree ornaments, there's not a lot of Christmas tree ornaments on the top. There's not a lot of overbought on the top during a bear season. And you'll notice if you correspond and look at them, these are perfect spaces to either take profit or enter shorts. Just look at the timing of them. They're perfect. But in the bear market, you're seeing all of these Christmas tree ornaments on the bottom saying oversold, oversold, oversold. And a couple of them are pretty good, but you'll notice, especially over here, look at all of these flashes, and the price did not move significantly to the upside. That is communicating how strong of a bearish trend this was. This was a bear market, the beginning of it. And that tells you just the confirmation to the downside you're going to see. You know, every single time you get a flash of overbought during a bear market, that's a good one to operate on. When you see the bullish ones, you got to be a little skeptical because, again, you're in a bear market. Well, the same is true when you look at bull markets. And this is what we're about to see, guys. And this is why I'm saying this is a good sign when we're seeing this happen on charts. Because look at this bull market. Let's go back all the way back here to September of 2020 up to, let's just go to April of 2021. Again, look at how few oversold flat. We're on the daily chart now. There's like nothing. There's nothing right here other than these bullish divergences. And guess where these bullish divergences are coming in at? Perfect little bottoms for you to go ahead and buy in. So you want to keep your eyes on that. But look at all of these levels that just got ignored. This communicates it's not time to get crazy about taking profits and crazy about trying to short the market because the bulls are so strong, they're ignoring these flashes. I say all that to then go back to Toncoin and say, while I think that there's still a decent chance the bull market isn't fully on and Toncoin could retrace, the fact that we're getting all these bullish Christmas tree ornaments, very few bearish ones. I mean, we started back here. Perfect buying opportunity with this flash. And then these have not been necessarily the most perfect flashes for Toncoin. This communicates to me an overwhelming amount of bullishness in the space. So it's not one that I'm necessarily looking to short whatsoever, but I'm going to be maybe a little hesitant and say I'm going to wait for a more significant pullback because they will come. And what I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for maybe on a little lower of a time frame, but I'm going to look for a Christmas tree ornament or a bullish divergence to flash because in a season of bullish movement, those are the most lethal indicators you will see. So that's what we're seeing with Toncoin. This is long, but whoever's listening to it right now, I really hope you guys are getting a lot from it. That's another priority I have on this channel is I don't want to just come in here and read the charts. I want you guys to understand what I'm looking at, why I'm looking at it the way I am, so that you can go do this for yourself and you don't have to just wait on me. You have a thought, T-Sherm?
I want to jump in here really quick because, Tim, you're making a lot of really good points, and I don't want to knock you off your flow, but Think about it like this, guys. So Caspa, another coin that's been doing really well recently, and Toncoin, we're seeing. I have not bought either of these coins, even though I take a look at these and I think these are good projects. Here's the thing: it's like we're leading up to the bull market, right? You're going to be seeing, and this isn't the first wave of massive upside for cryptos, right? This is, I mean, we saw it in Pepe, we saw it in Bitcoin Cash is another one. But here's the deal: there's money coming into crypto, right? And they're sniffing around and they're trying to find really good projects. But you, as a retail investor, you don't want to buy these projects on the way up. You want to look at your bags that you have and say, one of these are going to be picked by a lot of new money coming into the market, and just be patient. That's I think a mindset that people forget about, is that yes, so when you see a Toncoin or a Caspa on the rise, just cheer it on. Just be glad. Have that be a reassurance. Yes, money is coming into crypto. People are actually finding projects that are worth buying, right? But I don't need to feel like I'm missing out. I get that feeling too, guys. Tim, I'm sure, gets that feeling as well. You see a coin that's making a move to the upside, it's like, shoot, man, why didn't I get on that? I'm in crypto. I study this stuff every day.
Yeah.
There are thousands of coins, guys. Literally, there's no way you can know. You have to be patient, you have to be disciplined, and you have to be okay with seeing others succeed in a big way when maybe you're not. Because when the bull run comes, you are invested in coins that you believe in and that have a ton of upside too. It's just you have to be patient and wait for the market to be pointed towards those specific projects. And if you've done your research well, and you've listened to good investors, people like the gem hunters who know what they're doing, you will have found great projects that will get adopted.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, I'm gonna wrap up the TA right here. Looking at the 4-hour chart, you guys can see this is what I was kind of talking about. I don't think that the bull trend is over here. I'm on the 4-hour chart now, and look at what we have on the 4-hour chart. We're definitely getting overbought flashes here as well. The RSI is screaming we're super high, but then with these waves, every time you get above these waves, there is a pullback down. I would not be surprised to, on the 4-hour chart, see Toncoin pull back down towards the dynamic reactor on the 4-hour chart once again. Where that's going to be, this is moving to the upside, so it's hard to predict. So we'll keep an eye on it. But again, the whole purpose we're talking about this is so that you don't have to wait for me to come on and do this. If you have Chart Prime and you understand what you're looking for and you understand the reasoning behind it all, you guys can constantly be doing this for yourself. But you got to go ahead and get that with the link down below today. Let's go off of TA for today. It's already almost 12. I got a special guest. So as we do the trivia question, my special guest is going to come on the show with us, and we'll go a little bit long today.
All right. Yeah, let's get into that trivia question. There he is. Look at the little buddy. I wish I had an awe sound effect.
Yeah. What is the date? What was the date that the Roman Empire got to their peak?
All right. So, what year did the Roman Empire achieve its peak land dominance? You put your questions in. I saw a lot of C, a lot of D, and Tim guessed A. I thought I saw some A as well. The answer is, dang it! I always hit the wrong.
You do it so early.
Okay, I should never try to do the sound effects again. Answer is AD 117. So Tim, you were right. You got it right.
Come on.
Guys, I don't give Tim these answers. I mean, the majority of the time he gets them wrong, so that should be proof. But anyway, the Roman Empire in AD 117 was at its greatest at the time of the Trajan's death. So there you go. We've had a lot of fun. Wait, what is this? What is this? The truer answer. Oh my gosh. Tim, your other prediction is true as well. 2023. So D is right too. The Roman Empire never fell. An ancient Roman cult has been in the control of the government of the global civilization since BC 25. COVID is only the beginning of a plan for our supreme overlords to rid the earth of humans to reserve resources for a genetically optimized Homo sapien species that has been under development since AD 1933. The factoid elf has really gone off the rails today, man.
Hold on. Is that legitimate, or did you just go in there and type that just because I said that?
or did the factoid elf already have that type before you said it, Tim? Which is
I
kind of
guess
crazy.
we'll never know. We'll never know.
I play a lot of me and the factoid elf. We hang out. We play Assassin's Creed every once in a while. So I think that's probably where he's getting some of these diluted and totally degenerate thoughts. But look at that cute little guy right there.
Yeah. You want to say anything, Brody? You want to say anything to people? Here.
He's saving it for tonight at 2 a.m. when you're trying to sleep, Tim.
Yeah. You want to say something? No. He's gonna eat it. That's a good idea. We should just eat it.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're trying to figure out our wallets. He's trying to figure out the difference between air and matter.
He's moving in different areas than us. You know, so I saw Taylor texting me while we were live. I don't know if you guys saw this, if you can look it up. But supposedly, it was foiled, so that's good news. But RFK, there was an attempted assassination on RFK.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
Yeah.
The Roman Empire fell, Tim. It's not still ruling the world.
I'm telling you, man, this conspiracy theory. It is a thing. It is a thing.
Let's see if I can find this. Dude. Do you know? I mean, I don't know. Oh, gosh. Oh, Tim.
Eric Wallen says, Tim, does Brody have red hair? People keep saying he has red hair. Okay, so Taylor and I are both blonde. I'm pretty sure it's just like he has like red or pink scalp. Because it's the way I'm looking at it, he definitely is. It's definitely blonde, but yeah, there's lighting and there's things that definitely makes his hair look red. But he's a blonde. I think he's a blonde, right? He's mine, right? Okay, just making sure. I'm pretty sure he's mine. He has a lot of my features, so
yeah,
I'm not too worried.
He's not kicking with his little feet. Tim, this is not good. When you search RFK, just the letters RFK. 8 hours ago, ABC News. How did I not hear about this?
Yeah.
Armed man arrested at RFK Jr. campaign event in Los Angeles. Man with 2 pistols arrested in LA. Dude, you know there's speculation that he's going to run as a third party. Because I was listening.
Yeah.
Every once in a while. No, the guys, you shouldn't be upset by this. I really don't think. Every once in a while, I'll tune into InfoWars and listen to what Alex Jones has to say. Do I think Alex Jones is right? No, not necessarily. But sometimes I like to listen to what because sometimes his theories will front run what ends up hitting the news. What he was talking about was that RFK was hinting towards in several podcasts that the Democrats are not going to allow him to basically be successful, like what they did to Bernie Sanders. The DNC what they can do is they can just make it to where they're not going to have any debates internally. So RFK is never going to debate Biden like how there were Republican debates.
Yeah.
And then there's like deeper rules too that the DNC was trying to pass. I can't remember exactly what they were, but it seemed like RFK was convinced that the DNC is not going to actually let him run like a successful. He's not going to they're not going to let him have a chance.
Right.
And that's his words, and he is a politician and he's running. Right. But at the end of the day, there's some speculation that he might start a third party to try to run in 2024. That's not now. Then the conversation turns towards, well, what about the electoral college system that could never allow a non-Republican or Democrat to win, a third party, and then that'll go crazy. But this breaking news is disturbing, Tim.
Yeah, it's very sad. It's very sad that's happening, and it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, what you even just said. Like, I like RFK. Would I agree with every position and everything he says? No, but like I'm kind of on a boat of almost like agree with him or not agree with him. I think he's one of the very few people that we've had running for president in any time recently that actually has a lick of integrity to him. And agree or disagree with him, it's hard not to like him as a man and be very is he going to be president? More than likely not. There's so many things stacked against him, but the fact that he's even being attempted assassinations kind of tells you a even scarier aspect of what's going on right now in politics. But Yeah. Well, it's 12:04. And we're gonna close out the show today. I know we had some other things like we were gonna talk about, but we're gonna close out. It's been a fun, relaxed show that we had some great discussions and some great stuff, good teaching moments. So hope you guys all enjoyed that. Brody. Okay. All right. Well, real quick, we got to close it out here. We got to close it out here by doing a couple predictions here for college football, for all of our college football fans out there. Some of these games have already started. I'm only looking at top 25 teams right now. Maybe in the future we'll look at some other games, but these are the ones that interest most people. Boston College is going to beat Florida State easily. I'm just kidding. That's going to be a blowout. Kansas State, I do expect Kansas State to handle Missouri, but it could be more interesting than some people think. Penn State will destroy Illinois easily. LSU, not as good as I think a lot of people thought they'd be, and Mississippi State is going to have a good defense going. So I still think LSU wins that one, but watch out for some interesting price action there. Are you upset?
I'm upset.
Yeah, he looks upset. You want to – okay. Let's see here. Utah's going to destroy Weber State. Notre Dame's going to destroy Central Michigan. Georgia, South Carolina, sorry, Elliott Locke. It's not going to be a good day for you. Georgia is going to roll. Bama's going to control South Florida, but they're trying out a new quarterback. So I think that might be one. Alabama's favored by 34. Do not be surprised if they don't cover the spread on that one because they're trying out a new quarterback. Why wasn't he the starter to begin with? The problem is Alabama has a quarterback problem. They're still a good team. The defense is solid. He's going to pull these earbuds out of my ear. You are a troublesome co-host. Oregon
I thought
State
I was bad.
Yeah, Oregon State handles San Diego State. Oklahoma will destroy Tulsa. North Carolina, Minnesota, maybe one of the closer games of the day, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it with North Carolina. Minnesota's defense is good. Minnesota has a good defense, so be careful of that. Duke is a good football team. They're going to destroy Northwestern, who's a terrible football team and likes to harass each other. Iowa beats Western Michigan. Ohio State handles Western Kentucky pretty easily. Washington dismantles Michigan State. Their coach is suspended, so that's obviously a distracting thing for them. Washington State wins that one. UCLA. Oh, my. Okay, Matt C. is not in chat, but can someone please reach out to Matt in the Discord and tell him to tell UCLA to play a real team from time to time? They do nothing but play these nobody schools. Tennessee, Florida. Go Gators.
Oh, I didn't even tell you guys.
Today.
I tweeted about it, how I was at a pool hall last night. I was out last night in downtown Gainesville, Florida, which is where the Gators are, and it was a madhouse. I've never seen Gainesville so packed downtown and at Midtown too. And there was a lot of Tennessee fans. Actually, at the pool hall we were at, somebody put on Rocky Top, and the whole place, just because it was like a jukebox, somebody put on Rocky Top, and the whole place started booing. And then all these Tennessee fans were like dancing, and so I had to go to my car and get my shotgun. I didn't want to have to do that.
You do have to handle that. Let's see here. I'm going to rush through these others. None of these are. I'm only going to say the ones that I think are interesting.
I'm a Gator fan.
That's no more of them. Literally, this is not a great weekend of college football. Not really any game that's a real threat to anybody. I would say if I had to choose one game that I think there's an upset potential, I'm looking at this Minnesota-North Carolina game just because when you're a high-powered offense and you live and die by the high-powered offense, you can have a bad day and things can just not go well for you. And Minnesota has a great opportunistic defense and enough offense to score a couple of points. So does Drake May, who's a potential Heisman candidate, just have an off day? I think that's the best case we see here in top 25 for a upset. More than likely is Minnesota over North Carolina. That's my take. But that's all we have for you guys today. And we're going to see you guys again on Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fun show. Brody, do you want to say goodbye? Okay. We'll just soak that up and make it nice and moist for me. Yeah. All right.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Go Hokies. Love all of you guys. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend. Go touch some grass, spend some time with family, take some time away from some computer screens, and we'll get back into crypto. And we're moving in the right direction long term. So just be patient. The gains are coming. With that said, though, you guys have a great day. We'll see you Monday.
Tryna make paper, turn that batter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got your word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Tryna make paper, turn that batter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.